Yara, oi, hello. It's a big pleasure to be here at the 8th Interactive Film and Media Conference, and I will present my PhD research creation, A Flight over Aotearoa, New Zealand, AFOA.NZ, dialoguing with the unknown to create an interactive video book for children. I'm Gisela de Castro. I'm a PhD student at the University of Waikato in the program of Screen and Media Studies. My supervisors are Dr. Lisa Parrott and Dr. Rodrigo Hill. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My first language is Portuguese, and I'm learning English alongside my PhD. This is my beautiful city, my mountain, my forest, my river, my ocean, and now I'm based in Tauranga, New Zealand. AFOA.NZ is a PhD multimodal research creation. I will read my topic, Creative Processes for Addressing the Intersection Between Geography and Electronic Literature. My approach, transforming letters into animated videos on a digital reading platform. This is the website, and www.afoa.nz is an interactive video book based on children's letters about their places in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Aotearoa is the Maori name of the country, so I'm respecting the indigenous aspect of this bicultural nation. My research questions. What are the creative possibilities of curating and representing children's letters about their places as an interactive video book? Sub-research questions. What are the possible ways of spreading children's thoughts about their living regions through electronic literature? How can the affordances of interactive media create new opportunities for children's epistolary communication practices? What are the exploratory possibilities and practices connected to creative digital technologies at the intersection between geography and literature? And people normally ask me about where did this idea come from? And in 2019, I published this printed book as an author and publisher, A Flight Over Brazilian Capitals. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, I was doing my master's online under lockdown, and I was wondering, how can children access books if they can't go to school or visit libraries? What about children who don't have books at home? And then I transformed my printed book in a digital book. This interactive video book about the places in Brazil was the Book of Capitals, in Portuguese, O Livro das Capitais. And this interactive video book was translated in Brazilian Sign Language. And it was a big surprise for me because the Book of Capitals won the main prize in the Brazilian capital in the Literature for People with Disabilities category. In Brazil, we have, in that time, the data was that around 10 million people with some hearing impairments. So this video book was truly relevant in that moment. And it was a way to democratize the access of books and expand the access of digital content for children. And when I was applying my proposal to the PhD, continuing my investigation into interactive video books, I wanted to know what kind of video book would make sense in New Zealand? What would be possible to engage children in New Zealand? So I invited children to answer. What would you say to your region if it were a person? And invited them to write letters about their places. And from the news in New Zealand and from my own background as a storyteller and promoting and promoter as a promoter of workshops in the countryside of Brazil in literature field, promoting uh, workshops to allow children to create their own books. I tried to connect New Zealanders, the young New Zealanders, in this process of writing letters about their places. My objectives with this process are contributing to the emerging electronic literature field in Aotearoa, New Zealand, engaging students in reading and writing letters, artistically proposing an affective map of the country, providing students with the possibility of imagining maps, places, and spaces, inviting students to put themselves on the map saying, "We are here." And from a multi-artist to a researcher, I was seeking a methodology that could fit in my investigation. And I was trying to find a transdisciplinary research creation methodology. And I was inspired by the idea of this long play by 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿, Parabólica Mará. Parabólica Mará is a neologism mixing two words, parabolic, from parabolic antenna, and comrade, camarada in Portuguese. So this long play presented this cover, truly interesting, because the indigenous basket are pretending to be an antenna parabolic antenna. And this combination of ancestral intelligence, ancestral technology, to reimagine a technological future is precious. This idea is precious to me. And I try to find this combination in my own project. Yeah, and from a multi-artist to a research, there were a lot to be known in my pathway. And during my first construction of my methodology, my steps to find the pathways, I divided my process in 4 phases. The first one was invitation, and it was very hard. A lot of PhD students have said this to me. It's hard to find participants, collecting data. It's not easy for any PhD student, especially engaging with children and inviting children to participate. There are a lot of ethical aspects and rules to follow. And the invitation phase was much uh, bigger than I imagined in the beginning. And I spent a lot of time to collecting letters. The second phase would be triage, but I couldn't do this because in the beginning I expected to receive thousands of letters. However, it didn't happen. And in the end, the letters I could collect were so amazing that I had to use them all. I couldn't do the triage, and I used all the letters. So I skipped this phase. The third one was reperforming the letters, transforming the letters into animated videos. And it was the funny part, but as well the most challenging part because I worked with a team of creators. I will explain this a little more further. And it was a big surprise and trying to figure out all the team together in the same goal. And the curation phase, the last one, to put everything to, to the audience, available to the audience, and trying to find the aesthetics, the possible technologies to build this interactive video book in a digital platform. And multiple hands worked in this project. And reperforming is a term from my background in theater, with improvisation and real listening to the others, inspired by directors like Augusto Boal and his Theater of the Oppressed. The methodology he created to do this kind of participatory theater helped a lot in my methodology to understand how to proceed. The first phase invitation started with an installation at the University of Waikato. I created a piece of art in, to allow people to engage in the reading and writing processes. And A Letter for You became one of the possibilities to collect letters. And the audience should read the letters privately and in a focused way with concentration. And then I put a book, a notebook, to allow them to write their own letters and put in this wood toy, pretending to be a mailbox. And I collected letters. I repeated this uh, installation in some libraries here in my city. And in the first time, I didn't know the kind of material I would collect. And one child has participated doing this letter I received from the mailbox and reperforming letters by mixing documentary, fiction, animation, because my supervisors asked me a lot, but what will you do with your letters? How you transform them? How would be this remediation? And I was experimenting. I was trying these creative possibilities. And this was my first experiment. I received this letter, a short paragraph. Maybe she was, the child was around 6 years old. She was learning how to write, and it was difficult to recognize the sentences. And then I had to translate, to retype, because I couldn't use the calligraphy, the handwritten format. And this is the video. Why aren't kids allowed to drink alcohol? Do you know why? Well, I think I might know why. I think it has something that makes kids hyper. Francis. And as I said, I had to expand my approach, and I accepted original or scanned letters, photos, texts, with or without drawings, via email, WhatsApp, Discord, a lot of different platforms. And when a child has handwritten and drawn, we put the original trace into the animations. And sometimes we created new images. The illustrators and animators created some images because the letter was sent by mail with the typed, just the typed text. And there was different approaches to transform the letter into an animated videos. That's why we are talking about this mixing of documentary technologies and approaches, fiction, film productions approaches, and animations as well. Because depending on the letter, we mixed different techniques. In this case, for example, we used the drawing. This is the first draft of the video. Hi, I'm 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿𝗁 and I was born in Brisbane. Now I'm 7 years old and I live in Tauranga. And gosh, I'm glad there are no snakes and crocodiles in New Zealand. For the future, I would like the snakes and crocodiles to stay in Australia. And when the kids see the video, it's a kind of magic for them. The kids are so happy to see the transformation and the possibilities and the letter coming to life, and it's a good experience for them. I have received wonderful feedback, and this was interesting because AI or not AI, that's the question. This boy wrote a letter for me quickly, amazing letter. And when his mother sent me a photo of the letter, I appreciated it and I said, "Oh, thank you so much for this letter." But when I was reading it, I missed a kind of personality. Uh, the letter presented a structure very well done, but talking about the city impersonally. And I mentioned this for her, and she told me, "Oh, it's because my son was not so confident in his English skills, and he put in a AI generator and copied the content." And we laugh a lot. And I said, "Oh, okay, but oh, I would like to know a little more about him, about his perspective of the city." And she, okay, I will ask ask him to write again a new letter, more personal. And the second letter came much more personal and um, yeah, with a proper content. And this script was different from the other letters because I put this story behind the story in the video because I couldn't skip this funny moment. And in the video, there is a kind of prologue talking about this situation, the boy asking to the AI and then putting their own content in the second letter. And this is a kind of sample of the letters. And sometimes, as I mentioned, they wrote or they typed in so many ways. And the results were surprising because children showed strong environmental awareness, addressed issues of social justice and urban challenges. And I used to say, if Kiwi children were city planners, the world would be much better because their concerns are about simple and complex issues in a way to promote the well-being for everybody. They want pets, family care, nature, food, malls, water parks. And one girl wrote, "Oh, the water park should be free because people don't have a lot can go to the water park and have a lot of fun." They claimed about uh, shelters for people who people who are homeless. And yeah, culture, they wanted to learn more 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿𝗁 language at schools, and entertainment and sports and local malls to avoid travel, and a lot of intelligent content in their letters. And the diversity, not only about the authors, the young authors, but as well in my own team. And there was children from many countries. And in New Zealand, this aspect is interesting, at least in my amount. And my collaborating team as well, I worked with creators from New Zealand, Canada, Brazil. Uh, the time zone was truly challenging, but in the end, we could create this platform. And the language as well. Some kids have written in Spanish from Argentina, for example, or in 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗁𝘁, and some mixing words in Portuguese, Tireo, English, and they wrote in. This is one school. This image is from one specific school with children from Australia, India, South Africa, Singapore, United Kingdom, US, a lot of uh, different countries in one single class. And again, the diversity of words and mixing sometimes the vocabulary with more than one language. And I like this. I'm from South Africa, and she wrote Brazil with this spelling like we pronounce in English, differently from the proper name of the country. And I received 70 letters transformed into 22 videos. I worked with 7 animators, 3 musicians, 1 artisan in crochet. I will talk further about that. 1 web designer, 1 editor and proofreader, 1 voice actor, 1 technical consultant, and 1 research creator. That's me. And yeah, decoration phase started with this problem. Uh, the collaboration of the research team to find the aesthetic unit and audiovisual identity, because it was difficult. The letters were so different, the videos were so different, with soundtracks and sound effects as well, so diverse. And we started with this little piece because as an avatar, I was looking for a symbol to represent New Zealand, and I learned about this bird, Taraiti, the New Zealand fairy tern, is one of the most endangered birds in the country, and it's so beautiful. And and it's not so evident like other famous birds in New Zealand. And I choose this one as a symbol of the protection, the environmental awareness, and of course, so cute. And I invited Ana Charret, the artisan, to create this little piece. And she sent me from Brazil this delicate piece of art uh, from a person, gave me on my hand, and I put this. We took a lot of photos and transformed this little bird in the avatar to the platform. And again, to try to create something. Do you remember that parabolic camera methodology? I was trying to create some pieces, real pieces, to transform in digital content. Because I tried some digital images or digital creations, and I was not comfort with that. I didn't like the results, and inspired, looking for methodologies, looking for inspirations. I was inspired by three artists, contemporary artists, prolific, super prolific in their fields. Annabella Geiger and her gel poetics construction of piece of arts are very interesting to me. And Sheila Hicks, who works with wool, fabric, and tapestry, and she works in different scales, small pieces and very big pieces. And Alejandra Carreglo, an Argentinian artist, she creates landscapes with tapestry. Truly beautiful. The aesthetics of these three, from these three artists, were precious to me. And I created each piece like a puzzle, with wool, cardboard, and wood sticks to create these little pieces of each New Zealand region to form the map of New Zealand, the two main islands that compose the country. And we worked carefully and studied about the contrast, the brightness, to improve navigation for people with color blindness, low vision, or other disabilities. And it was hard to find the combination, the proximity of the pieces, avoiding to put colors that could be confusing. And the final results was this, and a lot yet to be known. Because the biggest, I will read this sentence, the biggest challenging was the project's multitask demands. In this multimodal research creation, I had to work as a director, screenwriter, producer, resource raiser was hard at this part, visual artist, curator, publisher, assembler, and PhD student, of course. And this, but this combination of skills and trying and sometimes doing a lot of mistakes and trying again was important to find a piece to create the homepage and to create the unity with that diversity of materials. And I created this piece, and it was in the center of the image. I created this piece for another exhibition in Hamilton at the University of Waikato gallery, GAPA gallery. And the exhibition was so interesting to find the ways to engage with children and testing my audience. And the third image here, you can see the messiness. The kids were so engaged because in this gallery there is a class, a ballet class, because the gallery is a performing arts uh, gallery as well. And the kids from the ballet classes uh, visited the gallery. And they, because I put the wool pretending to be the ocean, and it was impossible for them to, they couldn't avoid to touch the artwork. We put signs and asked them to not touch the work, but they couldn't. And they engaged. I go there. I went there so many times to fix, but they always, every week they touch it, and they do some yeah, they touch the mat. And once I listened to a girl told it to the other, oh, let's go, there is a cool map over there, come here. they they did this, and it was funny. I was so happy with this because I could see how attracted they they felt uh, and engaging with the image and the map. And this, to finish, is the visual of the home page, and the audience can read the original letters or audio visualize them through the animated videos. And I put this reference of 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿 because during my master's, I used a lot his book, The Codified World, and based on his ideas, this study invites us to reflect on new ways of understanding texts by rereading these letters, not just as literature, but as audiovisual experiences. And the final aspect was the accessibility. We did our best to put this platform as much accessible as possible. The costs are challenging. It's not so easy to put a platform available for all audiences. And we put this sign because there is a voice, a narration, voice acting over the landscapes. When you click on each region, it access the video, and each one you can listen to the name of the region, and the videos as well. You can choose to watch with the soundtracks, or just with the soundtracks, or with the voiceover, um, reading the texts aloud. And there is a time capsule. This is the interesting point of the platform, because the audience can watch the video and read the original letter in that time capsule, and the voiceover again read the name of the children, the participating children, and the name of the region, and can navigate with this. We couldn't put audio description in the videos, but the content of the letter and the sounds are there. And the subtitles as well allow the audience to read the content properly. And this is my contact. I would love to get in touch with you. And if you want to visit the platform, access please AFOA.NZ. And thank you so much for this opportunity and this great opportunity to present this work at the Interactive Film and Media Conference. Thank you so much.